I told him, I cannot have any sympathy for you. I cannot agree with you. If Keane is wrong, I swear I'll say he's wrong. I'll show you why he's wrong. And if Keane is right, I have to tell you why he is right. I was commissioned to do a report in 2003 for further forensic and guard investigation by the families, which I done. It went to justice. The reports that came to light last week through an FOI request of what they said about all those submissions in 2004 and 2006, I basically have to say I am disgusted. Because there is not one piece. This is the FOI request. It was delivered as dated on this to a lady, but I didn't get it until 2 weeks ago. It's delivered December last year. So the first thing I want to draw your attention to is I have marked it, right? They have alluded to the fact, and this is the point that they're missing. The analysis has attempted to be thorough, but no more than the submission itself. Cannot replicate the fast forensic exercise carried out by the tribunal proper, and both exercises failed to capture the full complexity of the scrutinised tribunal. So if King got it right, why doesn't his map look like these drawings here? Why does this picture look like this? Why does his report not look like that? Why haven't they given us a map like this to prove that we are wrong? To this day, we have never received a map. And the gas thing is, we have told the state recently that there's a transcript on record. It's in transcript book 75. Mr. Rory Mooney is recorded in evidence, and when the tribunal got caught, because Keane's report says on 7.1 paragraph, before the fire tests have been established, the tribunal had established that this fire was not in the roof space before the ceasefire. Now, if Keane said that, why then did he wait until a week before the fire test to call exterior witnesses, some 36 in volume? One had rang the fire brigade and placed an earlier roof fire call before the sea fire call, which Lafayette for the tribunal dismissed with George Glover and others as being nothing but a wrong number. That's not a Stardust number, right? So when we move into transcript book 75, Mr. Rory Mooney tells the tribunal, this is what he said. I understand about occurrence books. Now, occurrence book is a log that they recorded. That is not a record of a document that is handed to you by somebody else. But leaving the occurrence book out, is why would you record something on a separate document yourself if you weren't receiving the call? He answered, if I wasn't receiving the call, yes. Question, you did not receive this call. This is Brenda Kelly's 999 call, right? Answer, not that particular call. Question, then when you recorded on a separate document, answer, I received a separate call from a different person. What? Question, what was a number of the public? Yes. Answer, from a member of the public. Question, that was after the initial call Mr. Glover received. And here you go, Andy Kelly, you can have it now. It would have been in the same minute. So if Andy Kelly wants to get that message, carry it through the media too. Because it's on record that there was a roof fire call at 1:43 when there was a sea fire call. So the question is, all these submissions I have read are faceless, they're not worth anything of significance, and it looks now to me that the state prefers the course of justice. So I now move into the timeline, right? What I intend to do is, so we can explain this properly, I have done a timeline. It was issued yesterday to the media, it's for a recess timeline. It was comprised from David Rabash's notes, who was the Keane Tribunal advisor. He was a fire dynamic expert. He passed away in 1997. I had to go to Edinburgh, Scotland to get his notes. And Mr. Kenny, here's message number 2 for you, the actual real timeline. Just like this is the real scene, that is not on public record. So I have to light these candles because I'm going to explain this to you, why we're doing this, and I'm not good at lighting candles, so I have to bear with me. You see, we have to place these candles here as if they are the storeroom that's here, right? So in other words, we're dealing with this area here. Now allow the fact that this area here is over a concrete slab, right? It's away from the main dance floor area, which would be this area in here. So it's not actually over the dance floor, right? Also keep in mind that there is a song being played called Lorraine. And Lorraine was played at approximately about, I think Lorraine hit the decks after the dancing competition. Would that be right, Antoinette, because you were there? Yeah. What time? How many minutes did Lorraine play for? Yeah, I'm just going to let you know this, just so you get the message, right? Don't be distracted by that. Okay, so we now come to the outside of the ballroom. Now, this is interesting because we can't see the west alcove. So I'm going to use this here. These are all the houses around the area. We have Maryfield Drive, Maryfield Crescent, Ardee Road, then we have Maryfield Crescent again, and we have Kilmore Road Artane, which goes on up to Skelly's Lane, right? So allow the fact that there's a concrete slab here. It's away from the dancing area, okay? So at 1:15, Phillips Cobb is in the west alcove, where the King Tribunal said there was an arsonist. And she's in there at 1:15, and she doesn't see anything of a fire. So Phyllis Cobb is in here where this fire is supposed to start, right? Paula Foy at 1:15 was in the west alcove interior as well. No fire, right? Now keep 1:15 in your head. At 1:20, Patrick Kavanagh, who is outside here, right, Mr. Kavanagh's out here, he smells burning. He's an exterior witness. At 1:20, Patricia Cummins, an exterior witness, sees smoke in the roof of the Stardust Ballroom. At 1:20, Anthony Kenny, an exterior witness, sees 7-foot-high flames in the roof. At 1:21, Bernadette Kenny, exterior witness, sees a fire in the roof. At 1:30, Colin O'Brien, the DJ, which he would be roughly about here, announces the winners of the disco competition on stage. Colin continued to play music, right? At 1:30, Anne Craig, an exterior witness, hears crackling noises, then explosions got up at 1:40, fuse orange, red glow and sparks over Stardust roof, right? At 1:30, William Cummins, exterior witness, loud noise and glow over Stardust roof. At 1:30, here he is, taximan Robert O'Callaghan, exterior witnesses, sees loud noises and glow at 1:30. Now allow the fact, there's nobody in the west alcove at this stage. There's people just haven't left the west alcove. As Ken said, the fire started LSE. What happened to all of this? Then you have 1:30, Joseph Cavan, exterior. He's around here. Loud noises, smoke followed by flames, watched for a few minutes. Linda Bishop, who would be just outside the curtain area here, right? Interior, felt a heat surge above her head, sitting outside the west alcove area, right? At 1:30, Marina Mulvaney, a waitress, was in the lantern room toilets, which would be kind of like beyond here a bit, which had the windows open when she got the smell of like perfume. And here she is, the famous woman of them all, the one that King said didn't exist, he didn't include in his timeline. The singer counts for the state said, no, she didn't make that call, right? Brenda Kelly, at 1:30, in this house here, thought children were messing with boxes in the factory. As noises got louder, she got up and saw a fire over the Stardust roof. She watched for a while, And as she did not hear the fire brigade, she called 999 emergency services at 1:43 a.m. as the transcript says, in the same minute as the ceasefire phone call. This was before the fire had breached the ceiling. According to the tribunal, that didn't happen until 1:46 a.m. And according to the Coffee With You, the fire wasn't in the roof space at all on page 67. 1:32. Now she's watching this at 1:32. At 1:32, Elaine Stapleton, lounge girl, had just left the West Alcove area after a break, which she finished at 1:32. There was no symptom of a fire, as she only became aware of fire minutes later after she returned to the lantern rooms, as did Michelle Murray and Patricia Gaynor. At 1:35 a.m, which I think, if I'm right, would be here somewhere. Anna Kelly exterior saw smoke and flames after hearing loud noises as if fire in Stardust Club room. 1:35, Kieran Lane, exterior witnesses, saw glow in sky in the direction of the Stardust Club when he walked it home. At 1:36, now I don't want to go into inside yet, but if the state has had a public inquiry that got to the truth, well then they have to explain to us, where is this submission? Where is the public record that states all these people told the truth? Because what the state said to them was, I'll give you an example of one of them, just hold on a minute. I got this. Now, this is a witness who was giving evidence to Keane. I just took her out because she was handy. I can't call her into name. Right? So, Mrs. Block, you live at Block, Kilmore Road with your family. Answer correct. And that house, if I'm correct, goes on to entrance into Hazelwood Drive. Answer, the entrance into Hazelwood. No, you have me in the wrong part, you're wrong. Right? Question. Let us proceed then. Where would you be looking towards, looking out of your front window? She replies, looking across at the vacant lot in front of me. As you go up Kilmore Road, where's Kilmore Road? Here it is. On the left-hand side to the Stardust, coming on the Malahide Road entrance, Skelly's Lane would be to your right. So she knows the area, right? Now, question. And on that night, at the 13th of February, I think you went to sleep before midnight. True? Yes, that's true. True. A question. And you were asleep in the bedroom at the back of your house. So let's see now, where's the woman's bedroom? Here's Stardust. This obviously is the woman's bedroom here somewhere. Okay, so this is the front, this is the back. So she has a clear view out her window of that direction. Right? So she said yes. Question. And that room, does it look over a warehouse and a silver swan? And she says to him, that would be so. Going on, that would be to the right as I was looking out the window. Question. Could you see from your window? Can I show you on this? Mr. Justice King, we just want to know what you can see from your front window. She replies, actually, there was Butterley's house that would block the view, but you have a view of the door of the Stardust. Question, and the lantern rooms, yes. So then, Mr. Shanley from Dublin Corporation jumps in there 2 feet first. He doesn't like what he's hearing. Because remember, these people were going on a plane to Bornholm for these fire tests. That the tribunal had suddenly established that the fire was in the roof space first. It wasn't in the roof space first, it was on the scene. And every test and every witness called to the tribunal was for that until this week. So this is what happened. Mr. Shanley jumps up and he says, now, I think during the course of the night you're awakened by noise. The witness said, by my daughter on the landing and my husband waking up, and he said, what is wrong? And she said, there are queer noises coming from the Stardust. He said, never mind, go back to bed. It's 20 to 2. Right? I looked out the window, I was still in bed. My bed's next to the window. As I looked out, I saw a glow over the Stardust. Then we heard someone downstairs. It was one of my neighbours. She was worrying her husband was in the lantern rooms and she knew there was a fire. Question. For instance, I'm trying to flip another page. I'll skip that one. Oh yes. Daughter went down to her home, and I have another daughter who slipped out and went around to the Stardust, but what they can tell you, I don't know. Question. When you awakened, did you yourself hear any noises? It sounded like fireworks to me. Every one of these people that gave evidence outside have all said it sounded like gunshot wounds and fireworks. Gunshot sounds and fireworks, right? Now, question. Now your husband, when he told you the time, 20 to 2, answer yes. Question. Was he looking at a watch? Answer at his watch, yes. So here we go. There's a big hullabaloo there. There was an explosion, right? The witness was cross-examined by Mr. Dempsey, who was the senior counsel. He says, I don't intend to cross-examine, but I feel obliged to say this, without meaning to reflect on counsel for the tribunal. This is perhaps the third or fourth witness gives hearsay evidence. That to me is an insult to these families. 48 deceased people and an unborn infant who died inside their mother on the floor of the Stardust Ballroom. Hearsay evidence. 36 people gave hearsay evidence. Because he's saying relies on somebody else's clock and what they said, and invite the tribunal to say this husband is not called. It might be more expeditious to call the husband. And the witness comes in and says, answer, can I come in on that? And Kane said, no thank you, Mrs. Blah. Good luck. I have to say, it's incredible. But I'm trying to play Born to Be Alive under here, because I'll have to explain to you why in the ballroom they couldn't hear these gunshots and these noises. So we're going to play Born to Be Alive. If we're ready to go, just throw it on the table. And we've spoken about all this going on at a time when these people are still dancing on the floor. Now, unfortunately, what you're listening to in this song is, now, now that this song is being played much louder, right? And now that there's echoing going on, the sound energy is coming in waves. And basically this song was playing for, I think, 3 minutes. And it was after Lorraine. But I'm picking it up from the time the DJ was playing music, which this is the song. So nobody in there could hear that. Right? 1:30, I have a feeling an exterior witness. He would be here. He hears loud noise, and when seconds he's in his back garden. This is 1:38. He sees smoke and fire over the Stardust roof. By 1:40, he's joined by Anthony Desquette, his neighbour on the roof. But what's happening when this music is playing in the ballroom? Right? So at 1:38, we have Declan Burnett. He is in the main bar here. Right? Which would be in this area here somewhere. Right? And Declan Burnett, he gets the smell of rubber or plastic burning. Now, without the fact that there's no fire here yet, right? At 1:40, all the exterior witnesses are aware of the Stardust fire. They heard crackling noise and gunshot noise. Now, in a while, I'll introduce you to Mr. Jimmy O'Toole because he was one of them, right? And he'll tell you what happened to his evidence. Mr. James O'Toole, Miss Elizabeth Garrett, Miss McCready, Evelyn Devlin, Ronan Kelly, Yvonne McCormick, Gladys Evans, Kira Lane, Margaret Bracken, Sandra Summers, John Summers, Laura Hickey, Maria Blair, Eddie Keane, Christopher Keane, Mary Carney. They all know there's a fire now in the roof space. Well, good opinion. 1:41, Colin O'Brien, who's here. DJ sees a small fire in one seat, not controllable. He puts on another record. That's the record. 1:41, fire upstairs on one seat only. In here, which represents it goes on, and it goes on, and it goes on. I just want to talk about Robert Kelly's death and Robert Kelly's brother's death, right? So what happens is, we lit our candle here, right? And what happens is, try and like do this again. Actually, let Robin explain it because he's better at this than I am. Right, I'll just talk and Robin explains it as well. That was when fire burns in isolation. That music is still playing. This guy looks at the fire found in Killehan, and according to these reports, he ran up the steps, he runs up turns in and he goes in. But what he done was, explain.
What he did was he went up and he opened the door and he let some oxygen in, and the oxygen increased the fire or the flame to such an extent that it ignited all the unburnt gases that had collected in the roof space from the fire that had started way back 120 or thereabouts in that roof space. The smoke was there, the unburnt fuel was there, the unburnt gases were there, and then whoosh, bang.
So we've explained Robert's step now from things, abbreviation. You see, the fire gets oxygen, it can keep going, but if we reduce the oxygen, there's no catalytic activity. This flame is slowed down nicely. We'll give it oxygen. Sorry, it didn't work.
Didn't work well, sorry.
So come up again.